Hi everybody, it's Meg from Farmgirl Flowers. Today I'm here to show you how to style some of our peonies. Before we get started, there's a few things that you're going to need. You'll want to choose a vase. I am going to be using our Farmgirl Bee Home White Dimpled Vase, which I have here. But you can really use any vase that you have in your house. Just make sure it's not going to be too wide or too tall or even too short for your stems. You want to pick a vase that's going to be kind of proportional to the flowers that you have. I've got about 10 stems of peonies here, which I'm going to show you how to design. I've got my clippers here ready for you. If you don't have clippers, you can also use a pair of kitchen shears or sharp scissors that you have at home. Let's get started. Your peonies, when they arrive, could be in potentially a few different stages. We've got this stage here, which we refer to as a lollipop stage. It's sort of like just the head of the peony is really tight. It hasn't popped open at all. So that's one stage that they could be in. Another stage that they might come in is this sort of like halfway open stage. And another stage that they might be in is this fully popped, burst open, beautiful, fully bloomed peony. So all of these are great. All of these are correct. There's nothing wrong with your peonies if you get them and you look like this, they just haven't bloomed yet. So let's get started on designing. The first thing that you'll notice is that peonies have like a crazy amount of leaves on them. In this case, you definitely want to process all of these off. Peonies are super easy to process because the leaves come right off. You don't have to trim them or anything, they just kind of pop off the stem. Any leaves that are going to fall below the water line, you want to take those off because they introduce bacteria into the water. And we don't want any of that. You'll want to make sure that as you're trimming your stems, you're kind of measuring them against your vase to make sure that they're going to be at the right height. And you can always obviously trim your stems more if you put it in and you realize you want it to be shorter, but you can't make those stems grow, so just make sure that you're sort of not trimming them too short the first time around. So I'm just going to continue adding and processing as I go. And I like some of the peony foliage, like the leaves are really beautiful, so I kind of want to leave a few of the top ones on. I'm just making sure that anything that's going to be below the water line, we can make sure to take those off. I don't have flower food today, so I am actually going to talk about a couple of flower food alternatives. If you maybe have already used up your flower food and you're on day 2 of your arrangement and you're changing your water and you need a different alternative to flower food, a great thing that you can do is just add about a tablespoon of white vinegar to the water, and that'll sort of prohibit any bacteria growth that might be happening in your water. Bacteria are really what's gonna cause like a harmful environment for your flowers. So if you can avoid any bacteria growth, that's what you want. And the white vinegar will help to kind of do that. As I'm designing, I'm just gonna kind of keep turning my arrangement as I go to make sure that I'm not missing any spots on either side of my vase. I wanna make sure it's looking evenly arranged from all the way around so that when I'm finished, it's a beautiful 360-degree designed arrangement. Now I'm just gonna place my last stem here. I have one of these peonies that looks a little bit more like a lollipop. It's small, it hasn't quite bloomed yet. So I'm gonna leave this one kind of tall because I wanna really see it as it's starting to bloom. So I'm gonna leave that guy kind of tall in there. And it's okay to leave a little bit of extra space between your peonies also, because as they bloom, they're really gonna get huge and they're gonna fill out the space even more. So don't worry about it if you have some empty space between, some negative space between your peonies, because they're really gonna pop open. As I'm finishing up my arrangement, I'm kind of just gonna turn it around and make sure that it's looking good from all sides. I really want it to be beautiful from front, back, side to side. So a good way to ensure that is just to keep turning it as you're designing and moving things around, readjusting. I always say that for every flower I put into an arrangement, I'm kind of adjusting, moving around another flower. You know, it's kind of a living, breathing thing, your floral arrangement. So you kind of want to treat it as if it is. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. So here's my sort of finished arrangement, and I just wanted to offer one other tip about Peony Care. If your peonies arrive and they are sort of that like tight lollipop shape and you really want to force them to open quickly, there is a way that you can do that. And the way to do that is by trimming your stems like moderately short, and then submerging them in hot water, like hot to the touch water. And your peonies will sort of soak up that warm water, and it's like a burst of energy to them, and they'll just pop right open. So that's my tip for if you really want to get your peonies to open quickly. Another great trick for helping your peonies to open up quickly and make sure that they can absorb as much water as possible is to cut at a 45-degree angle. So just like that. Really trim so that there's as much surface area on the opening of the stem here as possible. Once you sort of have finished your arrangement and you're feeling happy with how it looks, which I am, I mean, there's really no way that you can make an arrangement with peonies and it won't come out beautiful because they're just such a showstopper flower. Once you're finished with your arrangement, you're gonna wanna choose a place for it in your home or your office, wherever you might be, that is going to be out of direct sunlight and away from any direct source of heat. This will ensure that your flowers last for as long as possible. Another great way to keep them looking fresh is to change the water every day. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's really easy. You're just going to want to sort of pick up your flower stems in one hand, lift them out of your vase here. You'll want to empty this old water out, fill it with fresh water, and then you're just going to give your stems a trim if they're looking a little bit dry, just maybe a quarter to a half an inch, doesn't need to be much. And then you're kind of just going to put them right back into your vase. Do any rearranging that you might need to if anything moved around when you took it out of the vase before, and you're good to go until the next day. This has been Meg from Farmgirl Flowers showing you how to style 10 stems of peonies. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.